My name is Chrisél Attewell. I'm a multidisciplinary visual artist from South Africa. I work predominantly in mediums of installation, painting and sculpture. I specifically work with natural materials, including rock, glass and found objects. My work is really closely connected to nature and especially the landscapes of South Africa. I remember when I used to visit my grandmother's house. The women in my family really instilled with me also this connection to the landscape. She would have these beautiful installations of rock gardens. She didn't really see it as art, it was just innate, but for me it was art. My grandma told me the story once when I did a project that I was working with ants. She told me about her mother when she was a small child during the Anglo-Boer War. She and her siblings were taken to the concentration camps, and before going she would bury her rag doll in the earth to protect it. However, after the war, when she came back, and she was digging for this doll, she only found little shreds of it because the ants ate it. Just goes to show that, landscapes within them have traces, there's a history, and it's not neutral, it's connected to people, to communities, to politics, there's always a broader story. People have interfered so much in the landscape, and the history of almost all landscapes globally is one of exploitation, exploiting resources, putting up boundaries and barriers, and not having a symbiotic relationship with the landscape, but rather one of dominance. How do we move forward from that? How is partial healing possible? How can you engage with the landscape in a different way, in a respectful way? These difficult histories brought us to the point where we are now faced with dire ecological consequences, where we are unsure for the generations to come, what will these landscapes look like? Through my paintings and sculpture, I try and imagine a kind of landscape that can exist abstractly or perhaps surrealistically in the future. In the past 2 years, I've lived in a coastal town, and I'd often walk along the beach on my way to the studio. It's really the views and the smells and the rhythms of the ocean, beautiful shells and objects that I've collected, I've seen, that has found its way into my work. Living so close to the ocean has made me deeply aware of the human impact on these landscapes. You can really see it in the state of the coral reefs and the rising ocean levels. Humankind's negative impact on the landscape is often unnoticed because it's unfolding so slowly, and especially in a landscape that involves an ocean, these things are quite literally under the surface. Most people have become so disconnected to the landscape and their environments and the histories that come with it. I'm really interested in how can we foster again a kind of reconnection. And so during my master's research, I was afforded the time and the resources to critically and deeply engage with these questions. I try to always be playful when I create my own work, and I really hope that that playful spirit translates in the work and that it might in turn evoke a viewer's own curiosity. My paintings often resemble a kind of surrealist topographical map. Sometimes I would decide to rather cut up a painting and use it to create a woven work. I kind of like how it becomes like a pixelated image, and it references in a way also through the camera at technology. People are always interested in how are we going to save the planet, and you get people who feel like technology is going to be the thing that saves us, and other people think but technology is why we got to this point. And so it's quite an interesting, ambiguous position that the role of technology then plays in a work like this. My work comes from a place of curiosity, a curiosity about the landscape, and my hope is that that will translate into the work and that the viewer might also become curious in their own ways.